Hi guys, we're back. I'm Eve.
And I'm Khan, and we're here to share a brief explanation of what mindfulness is and how it can be useful in helping you feel and do your best on the bar exam.
So, what is mindfulness?
Mindfulness is paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and without judgment.
Oh, okay. I've heard of people using mindfulness to maybe be more productive and help them control what they can by focusing on the present.
Yeah, it's so true. It can be useful when you may be swept up in worrying about the bar because it can help you live in the present and focus on what you're doing right at the moment. You can see here that mindfulness can help to reduce anxiety. It can help to reduce depression, stress, alleviate physical problems, and improve executive functioning.
Mindfulness sounds amazing. How can one start practicing it, especially if they're inexperienced or maybe new to it?
Good question. So, mindfulness begins with being aware of the present moment and the thoughts and sensations that arise. Notice any thoughts that automatically come to your mind, as well as how your mind and body react to those thoughts.
Okay, so when I'm feeling anxious, my heart races, sometimes my stomach hurts, and then I get really sweaty palms. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Anxiety can also manifest itself as more thought based, like racing thoughts, feelings of impending doom, or catastrophizing. When practicing mindfulness, it's important to notice how these feelings and sensations manifest in your body.
Okay, so I'm thinking about somebody who's studying for the bar. Maybe they're finding themselves feeling anxious about the future and their performance on the exam. Maybe they're having difficulty sleeping or eating correctly, or difficulty focusing, or even just like feeling really stressed in general. What else can they do to practice mindfulness and counteract these thoughts?
Sure. So the next step is to recognize that the thoughts are there without clinging to them or denouncing them.
What does that mean?
So without practicing mindfulness, the mind tends to filter our thoughts and categorizes our experiences into good, bad, or neutral categories automatically. Some people may be hyper aware of one category, such as some individuals being more focused on the bad experiences. As a rule of thumb, good experiences are ones we cling to and want more of.
Okay, so maybe like when I eat something yummy.
Yeah. And then the bad experiences we try to reject or avoid.
Okay, so how would bad experiences relate to somebody who's taken the bar?
Good question. So studying can be seen as a bad experience. So those taking the bar may consider it to be something dreadful and try and avoid it. Or go into more detail about how mindfulness can help you accept your position as someone studying for the bar.
Okay, awesome. So we were talking about good experiences and bad experiences, about things that aren't really good or bad.
So those are neutral experiences. And this could be things like getting a glass of water or driving on your morning commute to work. Those experiences we tend to not think of much or remember because we don't have a strong emotional reaction to them.
Interesting. So is categorizing these different experiences useful?
It's actually not. Mindfulness is all about unlearning these categorizations and practicing non-judgment.
What is non-judgment?
Non-judgment is not going along with the categories. So you don't identify anything as good or bad, it just is.
Okay, so like we were talking about earlier, studying for the bar can be seen as a bad experience.
Yeah, but mindfulness shows us that our judgment of labeling something as bad only adds to unnecessary suffering. It makes us not look forward to it or even dread it. And we may experience all these thoughts about how we can't do it. But the truth is, studying for the bar isn't good or bad. It just is. It's just something we have to do to achieve our goals.
Okay, so I understand what non-judgment is, but how can we practice it?
So, first, notice when judgments arise in your mind. And as you notice them, also observe whatever comes up in the body or mind along with that judgment. Recognize the thoughts that are there without denouncing them or clinging to them, and move forward with clarity, staying present to the experience at hand.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm glad. Want to try an exercise?
Hmm.
Okay, so take a couple of seconds and imagine you're in an ocean. You're standing in the middle of the water. You can feel the sun on your skin. You can hear the seagulls. It's warm. and you can smell the ocean. Now I want you to imagine the temporary thoughts or judgments you're having are waves. Simply be present and observe the waves moving past you. Just like how you're not swept up and carried away by every wave, you don't need to be attached to every thought or sensation either.
So I liked in that metaphor how the judgments were like waves and they kind of just pass through. That's really cool. How can we keep practicing?
Yeah, so to continue practicing, keep thinking of these concepts. The mind will automatically make judgments. By practicing non-judgment and staying present in the here and now, you can experience greater clarity and overall satisfaction in life's moments. You can try to carry this skill set with you and practice it as you go about your day.
Do you have any more resources that may be useful in beginning a mindfulness practice?
Sure, we have a bunch, and feel free to pause this webinar to view them in more detail, and they are all linked in the description as well. So these are popular apps that a lot of people find useful in beginning a mindfulness practice. Here are some YouTube accounts that are also helpful. And here are some websites you can check out as well.
That's awesome. These are really cool. I know our coworker is actually creating some of these just for everyone who's taking the bar, that I think would be super helpful.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to see them. Again, all the resources that we just mentioned are in the description below. We also included resources in the description about COVID in our Hope and Healing program and how to reach us. The next webinar that we have planned is on imposter syndrome while studying for or taking the bar for students of color. So please stay tuned for that.
The
And
Center for Psychological Services, CPS, of the Rutgers Graduate School of Applied and Professional Psychology, GAZAP, in collaboration with the New Jersey Department of Human Services, Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services, Disaster and Terrorism Branch, offers this crisis counseling program through a Federal Emergency Management Grant, FEMA/SAMHSA grant. This program is brought to you through the New Jersey Hope and Healing Crisis Counseling Program.
all right, so that concludes this webinar. Thank you so much for watching, and please be sure to check out the rest of the videos we have.
Bye guys, thank you.
Bye.